what's going on, guys? And we got another one. It's your host Colin here with US Virgin Islands Chess. How's everybody doing? Happy holidays. This will be the 10th win in the for myself with black pieces in the FIDE online arena. Yes, this was a 10 plus 10 game. Guys and girls, let's get right into it. Your host here with the black pieces again. E4, C5, Sicilian Defense, my response. Knight F3 by my opponent, and E6. E6 is good here. See a lot of games where people just play knight c6 to start, right? We've talked about the old Sicilian defense, but instead guys here just going for e6. I forget the name of this variation, what this transposition is of the Sicilian defense, but let's get into it anyway, guys. Bishop to c4, so pretty much all good moves played. H6. H6 is good in this position, guys, because it stops the horse from getting to somewhere like g4, okay? Or excuse me, g5. And my opponent short castles, which is good. Knight to c6, I guess that all this has been seen before. And now with d4, striking in the middle, obviously suggesting maybe that black should just capture. But guys, notice how I already played e6 here, and the bishop just covers that c5 pawn that's now under attack. Okay, so after knight to a5 now, just attacking the light squared bishop here on c4 as it does, dropping back to b3, and maybe in the mood of Bobby Fischer. Saying, yeah, you can take the bishop, but I got bigger plans. I plan on breaking here in the center and still going after that c-pawn. So anyways, b7, b6 was played. Now looking to fianchetto the light squared bishop for Team Black. And my opponent here from Italy in this 10 plus 10 decided to capture c5. So d into c. And first not capturing, guys. First just going for the bishop pair here now with knight captures, and the engine says that's a fair move. So after recapturing with the a-pawn, now the best move in the position, guys, right? So not taking the bait first, but then capturing after taking the bishop to drop back to b3, okay? So this is the position, and now bishop to e3 is a questionable move, guys, because can't black just take here? That's the best move, right? And then after recapturing with the f-pawn, I think black is good after bishop to b7. I mean, now look, white has double pawns on both the E and the B file. And yeah, it's hard to say because I think the light squared bishop fianchettoed here was just a little better now, putting pressure on that E4 pawn. And after queen slides forward to D4, now knight F6. I had a long think here, guys. I thought for a little quite too long, and I thought to myself, well, maybe F6 is better. I was kind of under pressure, under time pressure, I thought, for a while here. So then I just decided to go with my natural instinct, which is knight to f6. Also attacking the e4 pawn now twice. And my opponent easily defends now with just c3, developing the queenside knight, now defending e4 two times. And d5 was played, now attacking e4, now hoping that, let's get into some analysis here now, guys, hoping that white does this. It's actually the best move in the position. And after takes, and I'm pretty sure this has all been seen before. Black is a little better now because of these, as we mentioned, the double pawns on the B file. None of that happened in the game, of course, guys. Instead, we saw just a moment ago that my opponent pushed E5 now, attacking that dark horse on F6. And hopping forward. Actually, the engine really likes this move, guys. You wouldn't think that after this, and captures, right? You can't recapture with the queen now, as a B7 is got that on the diagonal. Now it's just saying that the best continuation is just knight to d2, and I guess the game can continue now. Maybe after this, or we can go long castles, or maybe not long castles because now this is happening. So maybe instead of long castles, guys, just short castles, or yeah, how about just, yeah, I think short castles is best. Anyway, none of that happened in the game. Instead, we saw the knight hopping to b5 square, as we just saw there. So knight goes to b5, played by my opponent, so not taking. And h6 was not the best move in the position, guys. The engine loves just castling short here. It says that castling short is the best move. I did not play that. Instead, asking a question of the knight, are you going to back up, or are you going to check my king? My opponent does check my king, and it turns out the best move in the position, guys, is just, of course, taking here with the knight. So just knight into d6. And after a pawn captures, the key, guys, is not to fall for this, as the engine really dislikes that because let's just demonstrate after queen captures e6 and then now queen into g7. It's kind of just bad news bears on the king side now for black. So we want to stay away from that temptation, guys. f6 now just covering, obviously, the threat. And f6 is also good, guys, because it keeps the knight from jumping forward, like to an outpost like g5 or e5, for example. So queen to g4, and that can just be met simply with queen to d7. It wasn't this much a position my opponent resigned, guys. Black is just up a pawn in a better pawn structure on the queen side. Black can take their time. I guess any continuation now, maybe let's just say like rook a d8, and now just g5 can be played. And yeah, I guess you can still defend here with the queen as it does, but then maybe, I don't know, I'm kind of liking long castles now in this position, and I think black's just a whole lot better. So maybe that's why my opponent resigned. Thank you guys for watching. So Sicilian Defense with e4, c5, and e6. And I hope you guys should have learned a little bit from this one. We could just replay it here. Remember h6, short castles, now developing the queenside knight for black and d4. So all these moves are actually really well played. The engine likes all these moves, by the way, and says that the computer shows that actually white's making some good progress here, some good, diligent, careful moves, guys. But at the same time, we really want to focus on, you know, yeah, again, this. Why was bishop into e3 okay? It really wasn't. There was a much better move than bishop to e3, guys. Can we find a better move than bishop to e3 in this position? Should I give everyone a couple of seconds? Yeah, there's so many better moves, right? I mean, rook to e1 is one. The engine says that's an okay move, but I think knight to c3 is best, right? Knight to c3 or even like knight to a3. Maybe provoking black if they're not really careful to undouble the backward pawn there on the b file. At the same time, yeah, this is kind of just a little not too strategic. But still, good moves played by my opponent. They went for the Sicilian and just kind of came up a little short. Yeah, knight to e4, guys, isn't bad here. Knight to e4 is actually really good because then, well, the engine actually likes knight to b5 too, so all credit to my opponent for playing some of the best moves. Again, guys, as we mentioned in this position, the best move here is just short castles. Truck it over to the other side there and save that king from, you know, this check here. And of course not capturing with the queen, guys, because as we see from my beginners and intermediates, there's a pawn defending that. So, and then remember after this and after captures, the key is not to capture, of course, but just to go for f6, and that was played in the game. After queen to g4 and now queen to d7, guys. Queen to d7 does a great job of protecting the g7 pawn as well as also keeping an eye on the recapture on d6. So thank you guys for watching. Hope everyone enjoyed it. And many more videos to come in the future. And see everyone on the other side. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye for now.